Hi, my name is Yolanda and welcome back to my channel. We're gonna get right into it. What is Sex in the City without Sam? Sex. No one's gotten down. We've seen gross teenagers going at it, but nobody else. Nobody else is getting any. I'm going to need them to load the next 6 episodes with tons of sex. And the fashion. The fashion is bothering me, the lack of it. That's point number 1. Like, they have taken the city, the fashion, all of it out of the show. We are not at spectacular destinations, and understood because of what we are going through right now as a nation. The city is not the same, understood. But if we are walking around without masks in this show, we're pretending like it didn't happen or we're over it, then we need to see spectacular parts of the city. I'm from the city. I know that even in these times, there are some spectacular things to see. We need destinations instead of these apartments. So Sex in the City is no longer Sex in the City, and just like that, we have a terrible show. That's my first point. It's a terrible show. Terrible, terrible, terrible show. It's awful. And it doesn't have any of the elements that kept the original show. And I've just finished binge watching the entire 6-7 seasons, 6A and 6B. I guess it's 7 seasons. That's what I'm going to call it. Of Sex in the City. Was the original show even good? Because this is so bad. This is so bad. I'm wondering if the original show is any good. It is. And there are some moments in this episode. We're going to continue to talk about it because I'm interested in social dynamics, power, money, fashion, beauty, and the things that make us women in these spaces. I'm interested in grief and problems and mess and drama. Sex in the City was a dramedy. Okay? We're not getting any of this. In the first 4 episodes, there's a lot of setup, but they are not executing what I think they should. I'm upset. Okay, I'm a writer, I'm a salty writer. Into the episode. Number 2. The clothes have gotten better. Okay, Charlotte, we see Charlotte in these puffy sleeves. That is her profile. That's what we're going to stick with for the season. I'm here for it. It's better than tube top or preppy Charlotte. We're still in that milieu. We're still put together. I kind of like the profile outfit of the episode. So Carrie's getup. It's reminiscent of an outfit that she's worn, but it has more layers now. Growth as a character. We're using costume as a character. And I'm here for it. We are here for the gingham and the colors and the weird styling, because that is all Carrie. It has always been Carrie. She's been messy. It's okay. So that's the outfit of the episode. Social Olympics amongst the moms at a private school. I told you I was one of these moms. Now, I didn't participate in any of the mess. I would have been one of the silent characters just nodding ahead in one of those meetings. If someone needed copywriting, then I was there. And copywriting programs and permission slips and all of that type of stuff. That was my job. And also to watch these women tear each other apart. I was never one of the cool kids. I was never one about social hierarchies. I was a perennial outsider. I kind of still am. It's always been an observation of mine. That is a real scene. That is realness, because when these women get together, they will tear each other apart. So I was there for that scene. And we had LTW to the rescue because, magical Negroes. We get introduced to Seema, who I assume is the Indian version of Sam. So we have a black Miranda and a black Charlotte. And now we are meeting Black Sam. Okay? There's no universe in which Carrie can be Carrie and live to the ripe old age of 55 and be black. There's just no way. we have to do too much to survive to be that entirely discombobulated, out of touch, obsessive, that, manic pixie thing that we have seen throughout the decades. That's not for us. Seema seems fabulous and in control and confident, and besides the little "such a pretty name" comment from Carrie, I'm interested in who this woman is, because she's still single at her great big age, hasn't really had, she's still dating, she's still looking, she's still searching. Move to sassy bitch in the wheelchair. Like, why? Number one, I've seen a weird inverse power dynamic in a ton of television. They're like, oh, these shows are not diverse. What we're going to do is we're going to inverse the stereotype, and we're going to put characters that are marginalized up front and center, and we're going to make them the sassiest, the meanest, the whatever. They come out of pocket, out of hand, against their white employees all the time. You do not get to be in a position of power and be from a marginalized community and have zero social game. You don't get to do that. Being hyper aware of your status is part of it. So if lady in the wheelchair doesn't, and I mean, I don't know, one, you can be marginalized and still be a whole ass white lady, so that's one argument for like her having the disposition that she has. But two, we don't act out like that when we are in positions of authority. We just do not, because you don't stay in a position of authority. You don't get there by not making friends and being able to make friends, and you don't stay there by continuously ticking people off. So the sassy bitch in a wheelchair that's just so extra in real life doesn't get to do that. Does not get to do that. Number 6, Charlotte doing the absolute most. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people have gone in on this, because, some of my best friends, they could have shown her doing all of this without her using it in dialogue. But then again, I have been privy to white people being entirely, too loose with how they think about things, especially when it comes to minorities. So this is something that could probably happen. But my question is this, and it's a different question. How do you have a whole Chinese daughter and not have any ethnic friends? She don't love her daughter. She is using this opportunity to social climb, which is, look, nothing wrong with it. I'm not judging it. It's part of her character. That's part of how the Charlottes of the world live and thrive. This show is not woke. It's like the evil imaginations of trying to be woke, but it's not quite getting there. So, all of these woke this, woke that, woke the, and I'm like, there's nothing woke about this. In fact, I have a theory about how this is being presented and how things are resolved are all part of the supremacy, but, we'll save that. I want to know where Charlotte's Asian friends are, because her daughter ain't white. Because are their parents investing in them as whole human beings? I couldn't care less if Charlotte has any black friends. But I do want to know if she has any Chinese friends, because her daughter is Chinese American. This gets lost in the episode. The conversation between Miranda and Eva. And I thought that was a funny exchange. And talking about IVF, I've never been through it personally, but I do know people who have reproductive struggles. So I was there for that conversation. But away from the IVF, wanting a kid and not wanting a kid at the same time, being ambivalent about motherhood. I'm a mother, and I'm still ambivalent about motherhood. I love that conversation. Not all people are all mothers all the time, and the resentment and Monday morning quarterbacking over your decision to have kids or not have kids, something that is constant. Where does that need or desire come from? Is it biological? Is it social? Is it everything and nothing at all? As I said before, I have a grown one. I have a grown-ass daughter, and I am still ambivalent about what my role is, how much of my time and my energy, do I give to this endeavor and still maintain some sense of self? I love that convo. but it gets lost in the mess of this episode. Okay, number 8. Seema made a comment, and I was like, oh, please don't. The messaging behind this. Like, I'm out here, I'm searching, I'm looking. I've not found my person yet. Same. But the idea that when we are in search of a partner, accepting less than what we deserve, that people don't need to, like, I've spent a lot of time working on myself. I've spent a lot of time and money working on myself. I know that I'm not perfect. How many of these men out here are doing that kind of soul searching to make themselves better partners? Seema has money. Seema has an education. Seema has style. Seema is like ruling the universe. What she doesn't have is a partner, and saying that she's willing, in real estate terms, willing to get a fixer-upper. You can miss me. You can miss me with the broadside of a bus with that nonsense. I'm not fixing anyone. As I said before, I'm spending time fixing myself. And this is why I'm single. I'm not willing to do that work on another person. Okay? I signed up to be the parent of one. I got divorced because I realized that I was being the parent of 2. It's a no-win proposition. The resentment, the energy, the time, the loss of self, miss me. The dinner party. Okay, so Charlotte is saved by LTW twice because she's like, oh, I have to cancel. I'm not coming over for dinner. So she doesn't have to go out and harass her black neighbors. I've been that person. You have to come to this party. No, I really don't. No, I really don't. And I know why you want me there. You haven't said it, but we know. The dinner party. Complete fiction. It would never, ever, ever happen. Just like y'all have your white parties, we have our black parties. And if you are white and you are invited to the cookout, you are a known quantity. You are a known quantity. Charlotte and LTW do not know each other well enough for Charlotte and her husband to show up at an all-black party. If you are invited to the cookout, know that you are trusted. You are trusted. Okay, she's like, I don't have any white friends. Like, number one, not true. Not true. That woman doesn't climb to the heights of her career and, you know, the Mommy Olympics. She takes home the gold for running that crew into the ground. She does not get there by not knowing who gets to go to what party. She does not. Charlotte doesn't get invited to that birthday party if it's an intimate gathering of their closest friends. Charlotte doesn't get invited to that party because you don't know. We don't know. Well, actually, we do know which one of our white friends is going to act out. The last thing that I have for today, this is number 10, the last exchange between Seema and Carrie. At first, my reading of this was like, she really is going to go like this ham over a piece of glass. But I realized that in some ways, I have an attachment to things. And in grief, I might get super salty over that. But her inability to read Seema and you know, the level of concern, like, there is nothing that like anybody could ever do to appease these women. Like Carrie, the Karens, Carrie, Miranda, like, there's nothing that anybody can do. Seema said all the right words. She wasn't crass or flippant or, you know, whatever. Carrie said, my interpretation of your behavior is A, B, and C, and therefore that's what it is. And I think the argument is being made in a non-racialized way about the racial dynamics that have gone throughout, is that it's a matter of sensitivity. Racism isn't about sensitivity. It's not. I think that's the argument that we're trying to make here without saying that we are trying to make that argument. Listen, it's not about sensitivity or insensitivity. It's not. Okay? That's not what the issues are about. But when these two women come together, they're talking about perception. And Seema makes a good argument. Hey, you don't know me or my backstory, but you said something that I thought was insensitive. You know what I did? As a professional, as a grown-up, I let it go. But if we're going to go there, and then she brings up the dating, at whatever age, maybe cue lesson. This was the woke moment of the episode, and it had absolutely nothing to do with race. But I think that's what the show is trying. What we are going to do here, I'm going to do more shows. I'm going to do the rest of the season. I am committed, even if it is terrible. What I need for people to do is to like, comment, subscribe, share if you found something in here that you find of value, and I will be back. I know I said, listen, these episodes are hard because it's hard to review a show that you want to love, but you really, really, really can't get into it because it's so awful. Every season starts off with like 4 episodes that are just not good. I didn't get hooked into Sex and the City, and because Sex and the City was the zeitgeist show, I didn't get hooked into it until episode 2, season 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll through the entire series again, because I just binge watched it, and I'm going to talk about some of the things going on there, and the actors, actresses, the beef, the drama, and Chris Noth, I'm going to fan the flames of the dumpster fire that is his career. That's what I'm going to do. Because, allegedly, he is 10 times worse than Big, and Big as a character was abusive as F. So, we're going to do all of those things, plus examine other TV shows that I watched in this milieu. I want to do beauty. I want to do fashion. I want to do the things that bother us as middle-aged women. Please join me. And until next time, next episode, if it is as bad, I wanted to come back on Friday. I wanted to be like, I'm on time this time. Couldn't happen. I can only do these things when I feel it. It took a couple of days and watching it 4 times. So, until next time, bye.